Important question when you agree a Tommy Fury fight is who's your backup when he pulls out?
Am I allowed to say? Mike Perry. Let's give it up for Mike Perry, everybody. Yeah, we actually do have a backup because, I mean, who knows with this kid?
Is it a genuine concern for you when you sign on the line again?
Yes, 1000%. I think everyone on my team is like, no, like, let's not do this, let's not do this, let's not do this, let's not do this. And I was like, I have to do this, I gotta knock him out.
And thanks to your announcement, he's just had a baby, so this is a tough time for a man to walk away from his family for 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre. You know, I think two of his biggest life moments in a very short time period here. I was telling my friends, I don't know how he's mentally going to be able to deal with that. Like, if I had a kid, I wouldn't want to be going and showing up at the gym. So I think it's going to be a distraction for him.
And even in terms of today, you've come in from America, you're a huge global star. We knew when we were seeing you, we knew we was going to get time. It seems with Tommy it's been a bit harder. He lives just down the road in Manchester. Is that a bit of a shock?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not really a shock. Like, I could totally see him as that type of person. That's why I commented on his Instagram. I was like, yo, you better show up tomorrow. Like, please show up. And because he's wasting all of our time. He's wasting the boxing community's time. He's hurting the sport. Wasting a ton of people's money. So he's just not a professional guy, and he seems like a bit of like a arrogant, egotistical honestly, but.
Or is he perhaps a young guy who is being forced into a sport that his family are great at, but it's not for him?
That's what I think that is happening, yeah. And I'm here to reset his life path. I think he thinks he loves this sport and all the glory, and it's been fun beating these taxi drivers, but he's gonna hate this sport after February 26th. He's never even been hit really, like for real. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it after he loses.
And even the support that he's getting from his dad and Tyson just seems to be a little bit double-edged. You know, if you lose, you've got to change your name. If you lose, you've got to stay in Saudi Arabia. Those aren't sort of the most inspiring words that you probably need this month.
Definitely not. And the pressure is on. You know, he has a lot of weight riding on his shoulders. I can't even imagine if my dad or brother said something like that. Like, but I guess he's always kind of been the runt.
That show that he did in Dubai a little while ago, there was a lot of confusion around that fight. I know people that were out there for a different show that him and his opponent apparently had completely different contracts. There were different weights. Has it been easy to contractually make this fight? Has there been issues like that you've had to face?
Yeah, I mean, they took forever, you know, for whatever reason. Like, people in boxing, and it's a real problem, but they just make all of this so complicated when it doesn't need to be. It's date, weight, ring size. That's about it. That's all you really need. And so everything else is just like stalling or negotiation tactics or pricing yourself out if they're scared. He just like kept on wanting more and more and more and more money. Really, it was like a lot of greed, which, you know, it's tough because he's never been paid anywhere near this amount. So we're really like taking a leap of faith on him, and yeah, that was really the big thing. It was just like a lot of greed, I think. I don't hate the kid. I don't think he's like a bad person. I think he's just like caught up in the wrong lifestyle and doesn't really know who he is. He's like a lost puppy kind of trying to figure his life out. And he has this like fake confidence and all that. But he's gonna find out the truth February 26th.
We were very excited thinking that this was February 18 in Manchester. Can you tell us just a little bit about the timeline? Because that seems to have changed and been done for Saudi, you know, very quickly.
Yeah, no, I think the goal was always going to Saudi. I was just there, met with a lot of the people from the boxing commissions there and the people in charge of boxing there, and it was just a pleasure meeting with them, and I really wanted to bring the fight to Saudi. And I think it got pushed back because of Tommy delaying the negotiations.
I've been to Saudi 3 or 4 times for work, been treated very well there, but I've had to ask Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury questions like this. I'm sure Lionel Messi and Ronaldo have faced them. Did you have to wrestle with any sort of morality in terms of going there? It's a place that's quite controversial, especially being an American.
No, look, I mean, I don't judge their country. Like, I don't really know what's going on there, and I've always just, judged based off of the people I meet there and my experience there, and it's all been more than positive and more than friendly. And the fans there, there's so many kids there that were excited to see me, and I'm really doing it for them, and to put on an amazing show.
You've also been pushing for MMA fighters, especially UFC fighters, to start getting better pay and healthcare. And it's been sort of made a bit of a personal thing between you and Dana. He's obviously had a real personal issue come up recently, and I haven't seen you sort of focus in on that. I don't know if you've done that on purpose. Do you just want to keep it about the fighters, or do you think that what he's done has perhaps changed even more fans on your side?
I don't know about the fans. Yeah, I've never. It's the feud between Dana and I has been like a lot of hype, and it draws a lot of like media, and it's been a bunch of talk back and forth. But my main thing is getting the fighters paid more and raising the fighter minimum to $50,000. Whereas it's at $12,000 now. Getting them health insurance, long-term health care. That's what it's mainly about, and I know he had his whole situation, but I don't really need to kick people when they're down. That what he did speaks for itself, and I've always said I don't think he's a good person. I mean, look how he treats these fighters. So I really just hope that the message continues to drive home, and we're working on the United Fighters Association as we speak to help these fighters out.
And Ngannou just being the latest sort of big star, whether it's Ronda, Nate, Conor, the minute they get successful and they can get out their contracts, none of them seem to want to hang around.
Yeah, because of how they're paid and how they're treated, and they have to sign these long-term agreements, and now there's other places to go. Before it was just the UFC, but now they could box, they could go to the PFL, which I think some of them will be, and that's why I've partnered with the PFL, is to grow that side of things and give fighters another place to go versus having to be under the UFC, which was basically like a monopoly for a long time. I want to be that change and unionize all the fighters so that we could all benefit and grow in the long run. And I think that'll be my legacy, showing kids that anything is possible, and just putting on good fights, knocking people out.
I find it quite interesting that you've completely rejected the chance to put the boot into Dana, which I think deserves credit, and you stopped short of really having a real go at Tommy. But I remember when you wanted to make a fight with Conor, and you was talking about his wife. I think she was a 4, stuff like that. Do you have ideas in your mind that of limits? Are there things you won't go, or is it just a case-by-case basis?
It's definitely a case-by-case basis. I'm older now. When I was talking to Conor, I was like 23, so I was a little bit more reckless. I've definitely matured to 26 years old now, so I don't feel the need to go to those places. But if it goes there, it'll go there. But I'm not gonna purposely, be ruthless like that. And I think before, my words were bigger than my actions, and now my actions are bigger than my words, and I like that balance better.
So you go from the problem child to what, the businessman?
Yeah. I don't know. I've come up with a bunch of different nicknames, but I'm definitely still a problem in the ring for these people. Fighting Tommy Fury is charity work. No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I found more fulfillment out of helping other people, and especially Amanda Serrano. That's been such an amazing blessing in my life. Just seeing her life change and how appreciative she is. I want to continue to replicate that, and it's that second mountain that giving back to people is where you find a ton of fulfillment. After, I think, you find your first fulfillment in all of the fame and glory and money, and that's cool for a little bit, but I've already done that now, and I wanna give back for sure.